Hey everybody. I don't like to attach titles to my name. But I'm coming over here to you today. I'm gonna try to speak a little bit louder too, which my babe said he gonna give me a microphone today, so it should be getting a little bit better. But I'm just gonna come to you today and give you another talk. I want to talk about these sexual violations going on or that went on, and now they're just coming uh, out of secrecy, and we're just now hearing about them. Well, not just now, because people have said something before, but nobody really paid it much attention because, after all, you know, people just really don't feel like there's real victims when it comes to being sexually violated. If it's not a child, they don't feel like they've been violated at all. So, like I was saying about the title thing, I don't really like to get off into titles, but I am a reverend, a minister of metaphysical studies. So, just to let you guys know, I do have a solid foundation of what I'm speaking on. And I've mastered studies in child development, human development, and I'm currently going to school right now to become a metaphysical doctor. So this is where all these talks are coming from. Doing a lot of research right now, putting my ducks in a row, and just finding out a lot of things that um, our systems are built on. A lot of those things are really wrong because they're not even accurate with diagnosing different things because they're only counting two dimensions of us, which is body and mind, but they're not counting soul. So that's a whole nother dimension, and um, the human being is we're made up of three components, that is body, mind, and soul. So when you ignore the soul, in different models of treatment, you actually miss the target when it comes to healing. So you'll just be able to cover up symptoms or mask symptoms, or you know even, I mean, though you'll have the people get temporary relief from different treatments, but the healing never takes place. I won't even say cure because there is no cure for soul sickness. Okay, the souls themselves would have to come out and say, "Here's the cure for soul sickness." But there is healing that can take place um, on the level of this realm or this dimension that we can use to welcome our souls back into integrating with our entire being. So that way we can get rid of sickness, and we can get rid of mental illness and different things like that. But when we're cut off from soul sustaining energies, um, we tend to get sick, and our trees of life become trees of death. So, in talking about, this recent string of revelations that then came out, different women and whatnot in Hollywood, men as well, they've been getting sexually harassed. They've been getting, basically, some of them have even been raped. So let's just call it sexually violated because if you're molested, if you're harassed, or if you're raped, they're all sexual violations. And there's a few other sexual violations too, but I'm not here to cover that. But what I am here to cover is uh, people, uh, why do they commit sexual violations against other people? And a lot of people, it's really hard for them to understand rape and different things like that. Like, even say the R. Kelly situation, people say, oh, I don't believe he did that. He has access to, all these different women. He doesn't have to rape and stuff like that. So, and that might be true. That I'm not saying that R. Kelly actually raped anybody because he wasn't accused of raping anybody. But I think what's going on with him is that he's preying on women. He knows that he has this superstar celebrity status. Women want to be with a superstar or a celebrity because it makes them feel like they're somebody too. And so, you know, he just basically takes advantage of that mindset and his power in that respect. But anyways, when you're talking about Harvey Weinstein's and Bill Cosby's, that's taking it a step further because these guys, like Bill Cosby, he's giving women drugs and raping them, and Harvey Weinstein, he's using his power as an entertainment mogul to basically manipulate these women into being in different places with him at different times when nobody's around, and then he's able to basically they're able to basically take advantage of these women's bodies in a sexual way, and it's actually pretty sick because the women don't really want to participate in any type of sexual behavior with them. So by them actually just forcing themselves on women in any type of way, even with the harassment issue, is it's very sickening and it's very sad because why would you want to engage in any type of sexual behavior with someone if they're not going to be receptive to it? I mean, that's just, you basically may as well have sex with yourself, which people do anyways, because people masturbate and, do all types of things to get that pleasure. So, they don't get to enjoy the full benefit of what it means to be sexually engaged with someone and actually have a connection with someone. It's all about pleasure. These guys here that we've heard about, different actors and stuff. I'm not going to bring up any more names because we all know, we watch the news and we know who it is, and we know because different victims have came out and accused them, and a lot of people were saying that Bill Cosby, a lot of my people anyways, was saying that Bill Cosby, it was a setup and da 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 da, but I knew it wasn't a setup because anytime you got three or more people coming out saying that this one person did the same thing to them as they did to those other two or three people, and in his case several others, you can't just call everybody a liar or say they're delusional or just say all of them were after his money. That can't be the case because everybody's different. So we all have different motives for different things that we do. But what I will say is a lot of people don't want to believe this about people when it comes out. It's very sad because even sometimes mothers don't believe it when their daughters come and tell them about their boyfriend or something. It's just so hard to believe. And the reason why it's so hard to believe is because if you don't have that experience that these people have that makes them sexually deviant, then you're not going to understand because it's not a mental process. And you're thinking of it as if it's a mental process. So I'm just going to read you a little something I wrote on Instagram. It's called Why They Rape, Molest, and Sexually Harass. Their true colors came shining through. And it doesn't matter if you're black or you're white. So for anybody who just wants to say, oh, Bill Cosby's getting set up and different things like that, the race card's not going to work here. I think as a society as a whole, no matter what race you are, if you live in this society, you become sick. And we know that because the more that we're around people of our same culture, then we run into different ones who, have been affected by all these different types of mental illnesses and stuff. And they are hurting people and doing things to people. They're beating up their wives. They're abusive to their children. And they're doing a lot of other things that, we're not agreeing with, of every race, every color, even every age. So let's not limit ourselves and say, oh, they're this color, so they can't do this. They don't get away with this, or people set them up. Well, everybody has a lower self. Everyone has a lower self. And when those lower selves start acting out and coming through us, guess what? It's all going to be the same result. At the end of the day, people are getting hurt, people are getting abused, people are getting traumatized, and these people that are doing it are very sick and they're only getting sicker. So people fail to understand this behavior, but I shall increase your awareness right now. What is wrong with these men? Why are we experiencing the unveiling of sexual predators? Why should we have compassion on them? Why is this a sickness? Why do they repeat this behavior? So here's the kicker right here, because I keep saying we're looking at things from a two-dimensional model. So we're looking at how people think and we're looking at what's going on with their bodies. Okay? We're not actually looking at the real true core of their being, which is the soul. The soul properties are the real true core of your being. And souls are the reason why we're here on this planet, because our souls chose to have this experience inside of this body. And I don't want to keep saying a soul is in a body because it makes it seem like a soul is in a body, but a soul is in another dimension, even though it's a part of the body. What it is, it's like a software program for the body. That's how your body is controlled with motivation. So you're you're motivated to eat, sleep, do different things based on your soul transmitting energy into your body and going to different parts of your body, to your brain, to your heart, to all your organs, and you're basically live. Those are the basic life properties that you're living in this realm with or off of. And so when people talk about what's wrong with people physically or mentally, they don't give any credence to the soul. There's no awareness that the soul is actually the driving force behind the body and the mind. And so when we have these questions about people, we're actually questioning their mental process, or we're questioning their physical process, but we're not questioning the spiritual root of their process. And your chakras, which I'm going to make a video about all the chakras soon, because this all has to do with that. But your chakra is the system in your body that intercepts soul energy, organizes it, and sends it out to all the different areas of the body, and then it's expressed as electrochemicals in the brain, like endorphins and things like that. And then it's also defined as good health, bad health, and different types of things like that. But we don't mention the soul. We don't bring the soul into that, and part of that is because science and psychology or psychiatry hasn't yet found a way to prove the existence of the soul. And so they just say, well, we can't prove it, so we don't know if it's real. So basically, that's the cutoff from the tree of life right there. Because you have to know about these soul energies, you have to know how they work, and you have to know how to care for them. So that way they'll be, they'll keep those energies up to sustaining your life. That's why it's called the tree of life. And that tree of life is basically your body, mind, and soul, those three components working efficiently together. Your entire soul is integrated into your body, or integrated into directing or motivating your body. So sacral and root chakra damage, those life sustaining energies coming from these areas were severely blocked and damaged. Remember, I just said you have to know how to take care of them. You have to know what to do to keep those areas clean, to keep them unblocked, balanced, energies coming through, flowing to every area of your body, so you can have that good skin and healthy hair and good thinking, good behavior. You're doing well. Your blood pressure is good. All those types of things. That's why we have a lot of sickness in society right now as well. And the doctors or Western medicine, that model does not take these energies into account. Some like Chinese medicine, they take it into account with the yin yang. But over here in this country, there's absolutely no awareness or credit given to soul energies. Okay. So, as a metaphysical counselor, and I like calling myself a fiction counselor, but as a person who's quite learned in metaphysical sciences, I can see how that missing link has caused us to be where we are today, where we've got people running around, extremely violent. We've got a lot of drug addicts and people doing drugs in our society, and this doesn't stop with poor people. They've taught us that all our lives, but we know that rich people are doing drugs. Rich people are committing crimes, people in Congress, people in government. So, I mean, we can't restrict it to just people who don't have a lot of money. That doesn't make sense. So, there is a soul disconnect so severe and strong that the only way they can stop is to reintegrate their soul into their being. When they were abused, raped, or molested, their soul parts scrambled away in fear. So, when people abuse the body, and we're doing that to ourselves as well as other people doing abusing other people, when that happens, our soul basically retreats. If you've ever seen somebody like beat an animal or beat a dog, to where the animal itself, it'll just scrounge up like, okay, that's kind of what our soul does. And once our soul does that, in certain areas of our body, it almost cuts the strings, or the basic energies, the basic life sustaining energies coming through get restricted. They get stopped, and so a person ends up having an imbalance with those energies coming through. Um, Especially people that were raped, abused, and molested, and a lot of people that's doing that to other people, people did that to them, and so now they're doing it to somebody else. Lots of times, human beings, we do things like that to practice what we call mastering behavior. So if somebody did that to you, subconsciously, you want to basically feel like, oh, you know, I've overcome this, and I don't have to worry about this anymore. And what helps people do that is when they commit the act against somebody else, because it gives them a chance to play the role that was played on them. And it's not necessarily right, but with these damages that are being done, because we don't have um, our full connection with our soul, people don't have the reasoning skills that would necessarily stop them, like me or you have. They don't have those reasoning skills. Like, if a guy was sitting here with me right now, and I got the idea in my brain that, oh, yeah, we should do some sexual activities, and I don't even know this guy. People who have a good connection with their soul, they're not going to act on stuff like that. Most people who don't have a connection with their soul, they're acting on that because they're actually trying to get pleasure, so they can build a type of chemical, one of those electric chemicals in their brain that would necessarily that would be produced if they were connected to their soul. So basically, they're using things in the environment, even other people and other people's bodies, to get these chemicals flowing through their brain. And that's why people get addicted to sex. They get addicted to drugs because once they have a taste and the chemical floods their brain, well, it's an outside artificial way to produce the chemical. So you're going to have to keep going back to that outside source to make it happen. So that's why we've got repeat offenders who rape repeatedly, or child molesters who molest repeatedly, or these people who sexually harass people repeatedly. I mean, they're getting this satisfaction from it, and it's building an electrochemical in their brain that they're not able to make themselves because they're disconnected from life sustaining energies given over to us from the spirit dimension when with our souls. Um, some of these people have a problem because of this with preying on other people. It's a behavior that replaces some of those depleted life energies, as I was just saying. They do what was done to them as a way to conquer these overwhelming fears, as I was saying. They won't tell you about these fears because they understand that people will see them as weak men because of it. So, just taking it a little bit deeper in our society, I think we're all kind of messed up because um, these people are afraid to tell people, what they've been thinking so they can really get the healing and help that they need. They know that you guys are going to judge them. They know that you're going to say, oh, he's a sick being. They know that. So what they do is they basically cover it up in secrecy. And by it being secret, the problem basically festers because it's like a drug addict who's doing drugs in secret. As long as nobody knows that they're doing drugs, and they're covering everything up, it doesn't seem wrong. But as soon as someone else knows that they're doing drugs and they call them out, they're going to get upset. Okay? It's going to rock their core because they already know it's wrong. Okay? They already feel it's wrong. And these guys don't have the knowledge about their chakras to know what's going on, but they know something is wrong, okay? But they're left alone in secrecy with these thoughts, and all that happens with that is that they see different things on TV, different images, other people doing it, it's coming on the news, and they're alone with their thoughts, and that it's just steadily building and building and building. It's building a wall, like a psychic wall. And after the psychic wall gets built, just a pattern of behavior continues because as you think, that's what you'll do. So if you keep thinking that same thing, oh, it's okay, it's nothing wrong, I could do it. I one time, I already got away with it, whatever. You're going to keep on doing it, okay? Because you're sick. You need help. They need help. But the fact that we talk about them, call them sick, and have no type of compassion whatsoever, they're going to keep this a secret. It's going to build up in their psychic wall, and they're going to act on it. And from psychic patterns, it turns into behavior patterns. Okay. Um. So it's a little secret. After they conquer a victim, it's so satisfying. It creates an artificial flow of chemicals that flood the brain. Most of them are dependent in making the chemicals that naturally come from being connected with our soul component that helps us express higher versions of ourselves. This is a sickness because those chakra centers need to be healed so the life sustaining energies can stop them from this behavior. Okay? Currently, we don't have a lot of doctors who deal with that type of thing. Okay? So even psychiatrists don't know what to do with these people. They put them on medication, and the medication don't even work. Because they'll tell you, oh, this child molester was seeing a psychiatrist and everything, and he still went out and molested a kid. Okay? Even keeping them away from kids, that doesn't help. Because some of them go and kidnap kids, and then they take them to a secret place and do stuff to them and then kill them. So this is why we fail to understand this behavior. We question victims because their pleasure energy center of the sacral chakras in us is not as damaged. So we don't understand the victim's mentality either for the simple fact that the victims have also been damaged in that area. They probably were before, and that's why it happened again. But because if you don't understand sacral chakra damage, and that has a lot to do with your sexual organs and your pleasure centers and, how those things flow through your body, then you're not going to understand why a person would succumb to that type of behavior and not say anything. It's embarrassing, okay, for one to say, oh, yeah, I let this person hump on me, or this person sexually harassed me. For two, not only is it embarrassing, but you're steadily worried about what other people are going to think about you or say about you, or how it's going to affect your career or your finances. And those are valid concerns. People don't want their finances to be affected. People want to be able to pay their car notes and their rent and pay their doctor bills and different things that, a celebrity, of course, is able to pay. So, I'm sure that, they have much more to lose when it comes to confessing that, this happened to them. And so now we're getting a string of women because they're all feeding off of each other's psychic atmosphere. They've gained some type of confidence from the first person who spoke out and said something, and then the second person got confidence from that first person, and then it's just a chain reaction after that. And it really needs to come out because these people need to heal too. The victims need to heal too. The perpetrators need to heal, and the victims need to heal. Um, there is a soul disconnect so severe and so strong that the only way they can stop is to reintegrate their soul into their being. Like I said, I don't want to make it look like a soul lives inside the body, but we have soul receptors within us that basically are communicating with our soul energy in that spiritual dimension. And so when we're talking about um, that damage going on, that damage from getting abused, that trauma from getting beat up or whatever, domestic violence and things like that. And I've been there, so I ain't trying to say nothing about nobody who's been there. I understand everything that happens and what goes on in those type of relationship dynamics. But that's why we victim blame basically. Well, she shouldn't have been in the room with him and everything like that. Because once again, we're looking at it from a two-dimensional perspective. We're saying this person should have thought better and then they should have acted better. But our motivation comes from our soul. So your soul is actually going to give you the motivation that you need to think and act a certain way. If your soul's out of whack, then hey. And some people's soul is out of whack. They're chasing after material items. So, they want these contracts and these movie deals and stuff like that. And, I'm not even just saying that about them though, because it's poor people. I mean, a lot of us, watching this right now have experienced sexual abuse. Not because we wanted it, okay? We didn't plan for that to happen. It was just the time and place where we were, and we didn't participate for money. We participated, I'm pretty sure, because of fear. I mean, we really didn't participate, but we were willing parties because of fear. We were afraid. We didn't know what to do, what to say to stop it. um, we have life sustaining energy still flowing and are not chemically dependent from hurting others. So we think, oh, how did this victim confuse pleasure and pain? How come they kept it hidden? Because these chakras have also been damaged and it has destroyed some of the life energies in them. Now they have a secret they don't want exposed. Root and sacral chakra damage make you feel unstable in your self esteem. So most will be uncomfortable thinking and wondering what others will think when the secret is out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically what's going on. That's basically why people rape, molest, and sexually harass. I mean, they have root and sacral chakra damage. They probably also have heart chakra damage. They lack empathy. So that's what that comes from. And it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with thinking processes or um, deciding to behave a certain way. What it has to do with is reasoning skills, and it has to do with a deficiency in the life sustaining energies that are coming into your body from your soul, from the spiritual dimension. So these problems have a spiritual root, okay? And no psychotherapy is going to fix it, no brain surgery is going to fix it, okay? These people need healing, their chakras need healing, and that's the only way it's going to get fixed, okay? I don't know about castration and different things like that. To be real honest, I don't think it's going to work because it's not a sexual thing. If that was the case, I mean, it's people can have sex with anybody these days. I mean, it's a lot of people online just looking for people right now to hook up with just to have, casual sex. So it's not about that. So I really honestly don't think things like castration works. And we know that jail, prison doesn't work. They get right out and reoffend, okay? So we know that that doesn't work. So, I just want people to be more aware, and you can't tell by looking at a person if their chakra system is messed up. Me, I can tell because I have training in that area. I know different behaviors to look for. I know different triggers and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm pretty good at, giving a profile on a person within 2 hours of knowing them. I can tell you if their chakras are blocked, which ones are blocked, and I probably can't tell you why, but I can give you probably some theories that, are close to what actually happened. So, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm out. See ya.